Faza's silent pain. Finally noticed. The city watched but never truly saw the weight he carried behind gentle eyes. Smiles practiced for 1,000 cameras, while storms lived quietly in his chest. Tonight that silence finally spoke. He walked through halls filled with applause, yet loneliness followed like a shadow. Every cheer echoed against his heart. Every light hid a deeper darkness. Pain learned how to live without sound. For years he wrapped sorrow in dignity, turned wounds into poems and patience. He chose strength when tears begged freedom. He chose quiet when truth felt heavy. He chose silence to protect love. But silence cannot live forever. It grows heavy when hearts feel unseen. Tonight the world paused and listened, not to words, but to trembling breath, to eyes that finally told the truth. His gaze held stories never spoken, of nights spent speaking to the moon, of prayers whispered without answers, of loving deeply yet letting go, of carrying loss like a crown. People felt it before understanding. A hush fell over crowded spaces, not from shock but shared emotion, because pain recognized pain instantly, and hearts leaned closer to his truth. This was not weakness finally revealed. This was courage stepping into light, to let the world see the human, behind the title, behind the legend, behind the poet of hidden grief. Faza's silent pain became a mirror, showing others their uncried tears, reminding them strength can still ache, that love can wound yet remain pure, that healing begins when silence breaks. Tonight, compassion replaced curiosity, respect replaced careless judgment. The world softened its voice for him, as if afraid to break something sacred, as if honoring a fragile honesty. He did not ask for understanding, yet understanding finally arrived. In the quiet way, dawn finds night. In the gentle way, wounds breathe again. In the soft way, hearts say, "We see you." His silence was never empty. It was full of endurance and love. And when it was finally noticed, the world learned a simple truth, that even the strongest hearts need mercy. Under the same sky he once confided, he stands lighter than before, not because pain disappeared suddenly, but because it was finally witnessed, and witnessed pain begins to heal. Faza's silent pain was never weakness. It was love waiting to be understood. And tonight the world listened gently, holding that truth with open hands. As silence finally turned into peace, no headlines knew his quiet nights. No cameras caught the weight he carried. Behind the smile lived patient storms. Behind the crown, a tired heart, learning how to ache alone. He walked through days with steady grace, letting laughter guard his wounds. People saw strength, carved in posture, but missed the tremble in his breath. When names returned without warning, silence became his trusted shelter, a place where tears could fall unseen. He learned to speak through distance, to hide longing inside discipline, to love without asking for mercy. Every poem held a folded sorrow. Every smile carried unfinished prayers. He gave the world his brightest hours, kept the darkest moments private, like sacred truths too fragile to share. Then one small pause changed the air. A look that lingered longer than usual, eyes that softened without defense, and suddenly the world leaned closer, listening to what was never said. They noticed the weight in his gaze, the patience etched around his eyes, the way his voice slowed with memory, the way his hands rested in stillness, as if holding something already lost. Silent pain does not shout for help. It waits for hearts that truly see. It waits for someone brave enough to read the spaces between words and honor what was never spoken. Tonight, the city felt that truth in the hush between two breaths, not sadness alone, but deep endurance, not weakness, but lasting devotion, a strength born from loving quietly. Faz's pain was never loud. It was loyal, it was enduring. It chose dignity over display, depth over explanation, love over escape, and when the world finally noticed, it was not through tears or confessions, but through gentleness unbroken, through eyes that still believed. After carrying silence for so long, some pains are not meant to vanish. They are meant to refine the heart, to teach compassion without demand, to make love wiser and softer, and patience, a form of courage. So if you saw his silence today, know it spoke of faithful waiting, of promises kept in quiet hours, of a heart that never hardened, even when it was left alone. Faz's silent pain was noticed, not because it begged to be seen, but because true love always leaves a trace in the air for those who finally look closely. Tonight, the city learned to listen, not to noise, but quiet truth. Behind his calm and steady smile, a tender ache had always lived, waiting for someone to truly see. He walked among lights and praises, yet carried shadows in his chest. Words unspoken rested in his eyes, like prayers waiting for dawn, like tears learning how to sleep. For years his silence was mistaken for strength without any feeling, but